before we get started, two things. First, just to let everybody know, well, first, let me talk about this first. I'm going to do the thing where I recommend YouTube channels again. And like last time, I'm going to ask all of you to help. Because I know there's tons of channels that I'm not aware of. There's tons of channels I don't pay any attention to. So I'm going to do what I did last time and tell all of you to send me some channels. And this is how it's going to work. It's going to work just like last time. You send me 5 people. It's got to be 5 individuals. Not in the comment section. Send it to my YouTube mail account, my message account, whatever you want to call it. Send it to that. It's got to be 5. No more, no less. Only one time. Cannot vote. Cannot send yourself. I shouldn't say vote because it's not really voting. Can't recommend yourself. You have to the end of the month to send in your recommendations. Send them in. Send the guys you think are the best. Who are less than 1,000 subscribers. Yes, less than 1,000. I know some people say, oh, well, it's I don't give a shit. It's less than 1,000, okay? Less than 1,000 subscribers, and that you like. If you only want to do people that have just started, hey, that's fine too. I don't care. But and let me say this: it doesn't have to be people that you think I have issues with. It doesn't have to be people that I don't have issues with. If you there's someone you like and you think that I don't like them, go ahead and send them. And I will say this: it doesn't matter how many votes or how many people recommend you. That really doesn't matter to me. What matters more is if I like you. Now, I will say this: if a lot of people recommend somebody, I will probably look at them a little closer. Maybe say, maybe I don't get it, but I can see that sort of thing. Might give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe not. Don't know how many people I will recommend. Can't say I'll recommend everybody, but I did on the last time. It's going to depend. So just send them in. Like I said, not in the comment section. Send them to my YouTube account, and that will work. And there we go. And we'll all be happy, and we'll all be wonderful. And hopefully we get some people some attention that deserve some attention, some subscribers, that sort of thing, because that's a good thing. Okay? Number two is, yes, I made a drama video on spinnernet. If you don't want to see spinnernet's drama video, you don't have to see it on here. I'm just telling everybody. You can look in the comments section. It's on my old account. You can go look at it. You can go see if you know what the whole deal is about. And it's more of just me getting some shit off my chest. So there you go. You don't want to see it. You don't have to. Everyone always bitches when I put them on here. So I'll start putting them on there when I start doing those sort of videos. I like that. There we go. Now, to what this video is actually about. It was announced today that the WWE, of course, is going to do away with Survivor Series. I'm not too happy about this, and of course we already know that they're going to do away with ECW. A lot of people have asked me about this. I have not commented on it, so I thought I would do that as well. But let's start with Survivor Series, because I think that is a good place to start. Then we can talk about ECW and next, because I have different issues with that. But with Survivor Series, Vince McMahon basically said that he felt that the reason why Survivor Series did not work this year and got such a low buy rate was because the fans didn't like the format of the elimination matches. Does he really believe this bullshit? I mean, this is like Dana White type bullshit coming out of his mouth. Maybe it was because the build-up to the show was wretched, which it was. The show itself was very good once they did put on the show, but the build-up to the show was very, very bad. Also, he talked about the fact that, the elimination matches. Here's the thing. The WWE hasn't cared about the elimination matches, and I don't know when. It's like every once in a while they'll care about one of the elimination matches, and really it's often looked like they don't even want any of the elimination matches on the show, and it's only that the fans bitch and whine when it looks like there's not going to be an elimination match on the show that we get them. If the WWE would have, I would say over the last 5 years, made those matches, I'm not going to say seem important, but if they just would have made them good, where you gave them like 45 minutes. I mean, it's a 4-on-4 elimination match. If you made each elimination actually mean something, you actually made a good type of tag team type match, Instead of often what we get where you'll get guys, like, the match lasts 15 minutes, sometimes even less, where it's just like, wow, what did I just see? Instead of giving them a long time in the ring, letting them go out there, put on a really good match, make those matches where people know they're good, and so that then they're like, oh wow, if there aren't big stars in them, at least I know I'm going to see a good match, and I'm going to see these guys go out there and be, maybe it'll be a bunch of young guys, and they'll be able to go out there and be showcased, or maybe it will be a bunch of stars, and they're just going to go out there and they're going to put on this big spectacle match. If they had done that over the last, I don't know, even 10 years, I would say, but definitely over the last 5 years, people would give a shit about the Royal Rumble, or the Survivor Series. They would care about it. They would make it sound like it would be great and wonderful. Of course, now there's all these rumors about what they're going to turn it into. Maybe it'll be another gimmick type thing. Also, what I think hurt this year was you had the what was the bragging rights pay-per-view, which you had a lot of the same things that you would have on Survivor Series on the bragging rights pay-per-view, and I think that not that pay-per-view did a bunch of stuff, but I just think overall, you had bad you had bad build to the pay-per-view, and it showed, and that's what happened. And I think anyone that doesn't see that completely boggles my mind. I've talked about this before. The problem with the WWE is that the creative sucks. I honestly wonder if the writers, the Hollywood writers that the WWE have, if they actually think that this Santino Marella show that they're talking about doing is actually going to be more viable and actually be more of a legit show, even though it's going to be a joke, wretched, probably, I haven't seen it, but I cannot imagine in my wildest dreams this thing being any type of good show, more than Raw or SmackDown or any other shows, because they're wrestling shows. If they think that, they should be fired, they should be out of there, there's no reason for them to be there. These Hollywood writers should be going to Vince and saying, you know what, I don't think this Santino show is a good idea because this just sounds wretched. Okay? I'm just saying. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this thing will turn out to be a great, wonderful thing. I seriously doubt it. I don't see how it would work because it just sounds horrible. But that's my feelings on Survivor Series. I know a lot of people have said, maybe they'll have a War Games pay-per-view. I can hope. I can pray. There's talk of them doing a War Games DVD, which, if they do a War Games DVD, I don't think I'll be happy with it because I want a complete War Games DVD, but that's just me. But that's that. Then we have ECW. And with ECW, of course, they finally pulled the plug on the ECW brand name, and now they're going to do something else because Sci-Fi was not happy with the show. Well, in my opinion, Sci-Fi has no one to blame but themselves for that, because when the show was good, it was, at the Manhattan Center, it was in front of the wild, crazy fans, who, by the way, I will say, they do have some of the blame for it getting moved because they were being assholes and did not realize that, the show, that they needed to kind of behave a little bit. I'm not gonna say do what TNA did with the cast members saying, but I do think that they needed to realize they were on TV and they probably needed to behave a little better. But just saying. That said, I think as soon as they if ECW onto the SmackDown tapings, it pretty much killed the show. I think it needed to be in front of a smaller crowd. I think you needed to, if the idea was to bring in young talent, try to build young talent, I think it would have been better in that smaller environment, because I think then the diehards watch that, the diehards, see who those fans cheer for, then, at the shows, the diehards cheer for the right people, and those guys are over, and then the kind of, the sheep that are at the WWE shows, it's kind of a domino effect. I think that would have worked. That's not what we got. Instead, we're going to get this next show, which apparently is going to be some sort of reality, like, Tough Enough type show, with a lot of the younger wrestlers, particularly the wrestlers apparently from Florida. There's lots of rumors that this is going to be how they're going to introduce Cabal, Low-Ki, and Bryan Danielson. My problem with them doing this is, I will tell you right now, there is going to be, because we saw this with Tough Enough, where guys would get over on Tough Enough, and then the WWE would completely drop the ball once they were on television. I think that's going to happen here. I think you're going to have guys that are going to get over, that the WWE is going to be like, well, there's nothing we can do with them once they get over, and I think there's going to be guys that they want to get over that will have a heart that just won't click with the fan base and won't get over for whatever reason. I think that's the biggest problem with this. And also, I could see, Caval and Bryan Danielson getting like mad over to the point where they're pretty big named, by the time they get to Raw or SmackDown, being pretty big names and being, fan favorites and that sort of thing. And the WWE being like they always do with young talent, oh, well, you need to work your way up. Which, for all of the things I don't like about TNA, at least TNA does not pull that shit. And that is a good thing. But that's ECW was what ECW was. Doesn't really bother me that much that they're doing away with it, because they haven't cared about the show, in my opinion, in probably at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So, like I said, the show needed to be in a different format than what they were doing on Sci-Fi anyways. I don't know if what Sci-Fi wants is what really needs to be done, but that's just kind of my opinion. Again, the Survivor Series thing to me kind of just pisses me off, because that's their own freaking fault. And I think what the thing is, this shows is that you have a creative staff that doesn't understand how to use the tools that they have. ECW, in my opinion, could be so much better, even if they didn't do it at the Manhattan Center and they put it on SmackDown until they could find somewhere else where they could put it where the fans would be more of what they wanted to put on TV. There's definitely small arenas around somewhere where they could do that and do it that way. And with Survivor Series, it was just, them not caring about the Survivor Series matches because, they thought the best way to use it was to make the stars look like stars and not use them to build guys, much the way I think we saw at the Royal Rumble this year, where we saw the stars be stars, but we didn't see any of the young guys really built up. I guess you could say Punk. Punk definitely came off pretty major off of that. So there is that. There is all of that, so that's that video. Like I said, if you want to see the drama video, I've got the link in the description box, so you can check that out. So with that, I'm out, and later.